Hi, I'm Daphne and I own a company called Fern Connections. Valentine's is coming. Not that Valentine's is the only holiday where you want to celebrate and you want to go out and do stuff, right? So today I want to talk about some date ideas because I believe that if you're dating someone on a regular basis, you should have some good ideas for dates, right? And if you're in a relationship, you always need to have like dates, planned. You need to keep going on dates, keeping things, lively and spicy. So here we go. We're going to talk about some things that I think are great, date ideas. One is the symphony orchestra, and most cities have them, right? The thing that I like about symphony orchestras is that they go from, movie things to disco night. I mean, they have a variety of shows that they do, right? And one of the things I like is that sometimes you can rent out their spaces for events of your own. And they also, in most cases have date nights. So there's no excuse. So you can go on one of their scheduled date nights and have a good time. So symphony orchestras, and since we're talking about music, I want to talk about live music. I love live music. I don't care if it's indoors, outdoors. I especially like to go outside to live music. And there's these secret concerts that are being had. So Far Sounds, however you pronounce it, right? They do these concerts across the country. And so, look these places up. There's like amphitheaters. And one cool thing that we know happens a lot in the summertime, right? Is these museums. They have these outdoor concerts, what we used to call music on the green. There's all these wonderful things that you can do, on date nights, right? And since we're talking about being outside, one of the things that I love is going outside to sculpture gardens. It doesn't matter if it's at a museum or if it's at a botanical garden. There's all these wonderful sculpture gardens across the country that you can go to. Here in Texas, in the Dallas area, we have one in what's called Frisco, Texas. It's where the stars are, right? Let me just say that. And I believe it's where the Cowboys actually practice. So there is this really cool new sculpture garden over in Frisco. Check it out if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So since we're also talking about being outside, one of the things I want people to try, if you haven't tried it already, is horseback riding, right? And horseback lessons is not just for kids. Most cities, a little further out or whatever, they have these ranches and stuff, these equestrian centers where you can actually go do horseback riding and take horseback lessons. And sometimes it's a good thing because, they're working with different charities, for people who may be challenged in different ways, right? And so some of your dollars can go back to these charities that these ranches and these equestrian centers and these organizations are supporting. So it's a really good way to give back also. And then another thing that people don't think about as adults. Now I'm just weird like this, so you can say whatever you want to say. Petting zoos, they're not just for kids. You can go on a safari, you can go to the zoo, right? You can go to these farms, and pet some goats or whatever, honey, or feed some goats if you want to. There's all these different things that you can do as an adult. Now, if you're having date night, do not take your kids with you. The kids may want to go, but don't even tell them you're going, right? Have a date night, you can take a picnic, you can just, do what I love to do, a walk and a talk, right? And just, walk around. And the same thing, with sculpture gardens, you can walk around, you can talk, get to know each other, you can rekindle your relationship, you can have a picnic, you can have a romantic dinner, all of these things. So don't be afraid to try some things that you may have tried when you were a kid or you wanted to try, but now you can try as an adult. So let's talk about a few other things. One of the things that I know for sure, and we're seeing more and more of this every single day, every year, honey. People are just creating all these different, classes. You can make candles, you can make, expensive candles or upscale candles. You can do wine tasting, and you can maybe make wine and brew some beer. You can make coffee. I mean, you can make just about anything. Last year, I think we made terrariums, right? And then we also did a a charcuterie board class, right? And we also do cooking classes. There's all these things that you can do, right? So it's like there are no excuses for, you know, good date ideas right across the country, because there's so many things popping up all the time. And I'm going to tell you, for you people who don't like social media, go to social media, honey. You know, don't be afraid of Google, and check stuff out and do stuff that maybe you wouldn't necessarily do, like making lipstick or making, you know, hand creams, or, you know, making, you know, whatever you want to make, right? You know, check it out, you know, something like soap that you can actually use. We actually made soap a couple of years ago, I believe, and candles. So it's like there's all these things to do. So having said that, you know, one of the things that I just want to encourage, right, with all the stuff that's happening, you know, there's all these great ideas. And if you're on social media, more than likely you'll find them. If you're just Googling, you know, fun ideas for date night. And let me just say this, you know, date nights don't have to be date nights. They can be on during the day, you know, in the afternoon. They can be in the morning. You know, you could do like a coffee class in the morning. And so they don't have to be at nighttime, right? And let me just say, and they don't have to be on the weekend. Say if you're off on a Tuesday and your person, you know, is off on a Tuesday, then go on a Tuesday, right? It really doesn't matter. What I believe is this, is that if you're in a relationship, if you're dating someone, you know, if you know, are the initiator, you're the one who sits back and waits, right? And I believe everyone should be initiating no matter what. Go out and find some great ideas, some great things to do. You know, you can Google, there's stuff all over the country that you can do. I did an article, I think it was last year, with the Thrill List here in Dallas, where I talked about, like, you know, I think 7 or 8 different favorite or good ideas for date night here locally. But there's stuff you can do all across the country. So let me just say that as we enter, you know, what I call the loving season, right? We're gonna have Valentine's Day. We're gonna have what's called the National Day of Love. If you don't know about it, honey, it's on March the 15th. And then there's all these different things throughout the year where, you know, we have Couples Day and we have Singles Week, and there's all this stuff that you may not be aware of, but it's happening, right? So go out, find some cool things to do, and have some fun dates with your person.